Hi everyone, let me share with you 3 things that my father taught me at the beginning of my teaching career that are ridiculously simple, but they are exponentially effective. And 30 years later, I still think they are the best things since sliced bread. I shared these 3 among other tips in my recent workshop at the Enzate conference, English Teachers Conference. So if you were in my workshop, you will already know these, but you can hit the like button anyway if you like. Anyway, let's go. Okay, the first thing is just one thing. So, to give you a bit of background, my father was a school principal and he was covering a class for a couple of terms while they found a teacher. And so he dragged me along. I'd quit my job because I wanted to do my big OE and I was stone cold broke. And he said, come and help me teach this class. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a teacher. That's the worst thing ever. So anyway, I was dragged along because I was so broke. And he walked with me to class and he said, look, the goal is you just have to teach one thing. So you have to ask yourself, what's one thing every student is going to know before they walk out this door? And he said he used to tell his teachers this as well, because it sounds simple, but it's actually quite hard to make sure every student knows just one thing. What's the one thing that is the not negotiable that they are all going to know? And of course, all of those one things add up to quite a few things over the course of a year. So it makes sense. Now, this is we all do the learning intention thing, or a lot of us do the learning intention thing, and I used to do the We Are Learning Too, the WALT. But every time I have my little reset, like if I feel like I'm losing a bit of control with my teaching, I think, hey, what's going on? Okay, so go back to just one thing. And it's all very well to write my We Are Learning Too on the board, but then I forget it, to be honest. I don't, but I do. Like it's not it doesn't become a not negotiable until I reframe to say, what's the one thing every kid's going to know how to do? And this is not negotiable. Like for me, so every student is going to know this thing. And it's a little bit different to that learning intention. Yes, you can put that up as a learning intention, you're just one thing, but I think this one is for you. And it's a challenge, and you become determined, and it really focuses your teaching, but it also simplifies it. I'm really anti the performing seal palaver and spending 5 periods on some collaborative blimmin' stupid touchy-feely let's all learn teamwork kind of thing, because I am there to teach them things. So if we can get bang for our buck out of every lesson, that's good. And you know what? The kids actually love it because they know they are learning, and students love knowing that they are actually learning something. So just one thing. That's your motto. What's every student going to know before they walk out my classroom door? So that's tip number 1. Okay, tip number 2 is every lesson is a race. So it's about creating a panic, but it's a happy panic. And the other sort of analogy I like to use is you're ripping the Band-Aid off fast. So you're not spending 2 periods writing these 10 sentences, as I saw the other day in the classroom. It's like, are you serious? You can drag it out all you want. You set this work and then you might go and sit at your desk and wander around and and you leave it for a couple of periods and probably still some haven't finished, but whatever, then you move on to the next thing. I mean, that kills your just one thing argument, but also it's dragging it out. We're here to learn, get bang for your buck, get bang for your students' buck, and get the job done. So if you create that happy panic, not only does it make the lesson more exciting, students have a feeling of achievement at the end because they've actually finished their work. So it's come on, you've got 5 things to do. Go. How are you going? Come on, you've got to finish. You actually have to finish this work. And if you don't want them to finish it, and if you're not going to look at it and mark it and go over it, then what's the point? There's no point. So create a happy panic. Keep it moving. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And then you'll find the kids like engage better. There is more value in what they're doing. They finish, they get that sense of achievement, all the things. So tip number 2, create that happy panic. Every lesson is a race. Tip number 3 is a bit more involved. It's not as simple as the first 2, and I have talked about these before, and that's the what we call the attainment goal test. So this is, Dad had it going at our schools, and he went into a lot of schools that had a lot of students that struggled and had never achieved anything in their lives. So the thing was that at the end of every unit, the whole school would do this. At the end of every unit, there would be a little test. So it's a one-pager pretty much, and there might be 15, 20 questions, maybe even 10, whatever, on this one page. Now, the students get this page, and then you fill in the answers together. As a class, you're talking about making sure all the kids have got the answers written in. They then take this test home and they learn it. So it is about the things you want your students to rote learn. So a lot of, that vocab, the language features and things, that's great for rote learning. Or say you want them to remember something about your text, what are the key motivations for your character? What are the 3 things about setting that we know? That kind of thing. And that can go into your test. They have a week or 2 to rote learn it, come back, sit the test. Now, at our school, the pass mark was 80%. Because obviously you've had the test first. So then you sit the test, kids sit the test, exactly the same test. So a bit of photocopying if you're wanting to get them off devices, which I am all for. It is a bit of photocopying, but they sit the test and obviously you mark it, and then you watch these kids that have never achieved anything in their life suddenly get 90% in an English test. You then send slips home to say, blah, 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 blah. Taylor got 90% in his English test, which was about whatever. And that's amazing for a parent to receive, especially one whose child is always getting negative things back from school. So, I'm not really, I am kind of kind and touchy-feely sometimes, but, I just love that the kids get such a boost out of this, and not only the kids, but the parents do. And I also love that they're rote learning. They are memorizing the things they actually need to remember. So rote learning is a thing. Bring it back, and bring it back in this way. It also gives value to what you just learned. You're saying, hey, this stuff that we just spent 6 weeks learning, that's important. You've got to know it. So, as I say, we called it the Attainment Goal Test, AG tests for short. It was a big school thing that we actually got, reports got sent home and everything. But obviously, you're probably going to be the only one doing it in your school unless you spread the word, spread the love. And so you can easily just send slips home. I find that easier than, say, sending emails home. What a palaver that is. I like doing the little slips, and you send them home, and it's just fantastic. So the Attainment Goal Test, you can rename them. I haven't thought of another name for them because it was so ingrained for me as a student, because we had to go to Dad's school. Think of another name. I'd love to hear your ideas, actually. But honestly, that to build confidence in those kids, these are the best things. And to get that learning across, best things ever. Really, really simple to do and super effective. Okay, so those are my 3 tips, and they're gold. They work. Actually try them, and you will be surprised. Ridiculously simple, but ridiculously effective. Enjoy. Happy teaching.